So I have to keep myself grounded with my ego and say, you're good, kid, but you're not that good. So and just allow yourself to operate in the market with your orders that will afford you the luxuries of getting in and getting out. You're going to have a whole lot more liquidity from 770 down to 765 and a quarter. There's lots of prices in between there, lots of individual tick fluctuations, and every one little minor little fluctuation is an opportunity for an exchange and pairing of orders for buyers and sellers to meet. And you want to afford yourself an ample supply of that when you're trying to exit, and just yield yourself to, yeah, it went to where I wanted it to go, and I'm happy with that, but I don't need that. Hopefully it makes sense. I've answered a dozen of individuals that left comments around struggling with exits and how to pick the right price and all that, because they're trying to impress me and they're trying to impress themselves. Knowing where it's going to go to with the perfection, that is just for you to feel good. That's not how you're going to execute. If you try to do that, you're going to miss entries, you're going to miss exits, and or hold on to them because you want them to hit that level with your exit, and then the price could be returning against you. And you are more fixed on the outcome being perfect versus recognizing that you're in a trade now that's turned around on you, and you've married the vein. Okay, gold miners used to have the expression, so-and-so's married the vein. In other words, the location that's been mined for gold, it's dried up now. It's no more gold there. But because he's found one little nugget there, he's married the vein. He thinks it's going to be nothing but more gold. So he spends his time constantly digging and panhandling through there, getting nothing but wasted time. So you can do that with your winning trades. You can turn a really good trade into something that's dog mess, really. So we're below. I just want to put these on here before I leave this time frame. I hope what I'm saying is encouraging and not discouraging you. But I know sometimes you want to be like an X-Man. And remember, Deadpool wasn't an X-Man. Deadpool, spirit animal. All right, so anyway, that's the levels I'm using going forward. So we'll keep those in mind. But this fair value gap is what I was mentioning this week. That was all I was looking for. Me personally, as the trader, ICT, I'm not interested needing it to go lower than that. Can it? Absolutely can. But I don't personally need that. So where do I want to engage? I want to engage in anything that gets me short. So how can I do that? How can I frame a short in a market that has had this big, colossal slide down, where I had some of the back end of that move, but I didn't get the first part of it there because it's coming on the heels of what? A holiday. So I'm going to let the morning session trade without me. And at 1:30 p.m., that means the New York hour lunch, which is technically 2 hours, 11:30 to 1:30. In that time frame, that is when the lunch macro, whatever has happened in the morning session, during those 2 hours, there's always some kind of retracement against whatever's already happened in the morning. That is all the lunch macro is. That's it. It's all it is. It just retraces on orders that would be trailed up if it's been going higher, or if it's been going lower in price, they trail the stop losses lower to lock in their profits. During the 11:30 to 1:30, they're very, very specific times. Don't take my word for it. I want you to go back, and every single time you log intraday price action, make a vertical line at 11:30 and a vertical line at 1:30. And then watch what price is doing in those 2 hours. It does it so frequently that could be your model. That could be your thing. Like, you don't even trade. Don't even worry about trading the open. Who cares about that? Whatever somebody's been doing, they were smart. They did something right. They were long in the initial run of the move, or they were short in the initial run of the move. During that 11:30 to 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that means always have your time on TradingView set to New York. If you're using your local time, you're doing it wrong. I don't care who tells you what. I don't care where you live. I don't care. you're not following what the algorithm's going to do. You're not following the logic I'm teaching with, and you're not going to be successful because you're doing things wrong. Okay, so you have to always have your chart set to New York local time. And at 11:30 and 1:30, that defines your lunch macro time. But at the end of that, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that starts the afternoon session. So that's your first 30 minutes leading up to 2 o'clock. In that first 30 minutes, you're going to see fair value gaps form. You're going to see other PDA. Don't think that my fair value gap in the first 30 minutes of 9:30 to 10 o'clock, like that's the only one trick pony. Every single one of my PD arrays exists in that same element too. Remember, I'm just teaching one principle, one little component. Breaker blocks, vacuum blocks, propulsion blocks, institutional order flow entry drill technically is still kind of fair value gap. Every PD array is in there. Volume imbalance. If it forms the first one, it's the same premise. Oh, explosion of opportunities just came in, didn't it? See, you think it's just a one-trick pony around here. Honey, listen to me. I have an arsenal. I have stuff nobody's seen before, but you are selling yourself short thinking that you don't have enough already. Like you have more than you would ever need. I don't never need to do anything else ever again talking about none of this. You have more than enough. But I know how it is. You want more. And I love Sharon. I love Sharon. I love my wife more. Her name ain't Sharon, but I love Sharon. And I love the feedback that I get when people are like, wow, I used this. I went right out there and I saw it in price action and look what I just did. I tape read this and boom, 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 and there it is. What I don't want you doing, and this is what I'm seeing in the comment section, there's one individual that's saying, I hurt myself. I made $1,500 and then I lost $1,000 in the next day. And please encourage me. Every video I'm encouraging you. I'm encouraging all of you to follow the rules. If you're taking what I'm doing in a lecture, okay, I mean this. If you're taking what I'm teaching in a lecture that given day or the very next day, and you're trying to go out there and trade with it with your real money, with your funded account challenge or your funded account, you are doing it wrong. I know that the tendencies for you to want to just go out there and prove that it's going to make you money. And if it does, man, you're going to be ICT for life. I don't want you ICT for life. I want you incorporated for life. YOU, incorporated. You, the enterprise, this conglomerate that you're building, you as a success story. I want you to be that for life. I don't want you Team ICT. Team ICT is nothing. There's no ICT team. I'm a one-man army. I'm training you all to be a one-man or woman army. That's it. You don't need anybody else. You don't need to plug in anybody else. You don't need any other kind of resources. You are capable of doing everything by yourself. Once you learn this stuff, no one can take it from you, and they can't discount it. Who's going to say you can't do what I'm doing or more than I'm showing? Nobody. Just you. But stop trying to go out there and try to use it right away. You haven't spent enough time. Listen, we just started doing mentorship. It's only been a month. And some of you think that that's, well, you're too long in it now, man. I should already be out there trading with it. That's a moronic perspective. That's dollar menu mentorship, mentor advice. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you to do that at all. I'm telling you to do the opposite. Sit still. You shouldn't even be taking any trades with real money this year. This year. That's the reality. And if you don't like that, don't watch my videos. I mean that, because I don't like when you leave comments, and I'm not getting a lot of them, but I'm getting them. I tried to use this and I lost money. Can you tell me what I did wrong? You started using it before you understood how to use it. Just like I did when I bought my ZX14 in 2008. That was the fastest motorcycle, fastest one. I've never owned a motorcycle before. Midlife crisis. I'm 35 years old. Hey, you know what I need to do? I need a rocket. I got everything else I need. I don't need anything else. But you know what I need? I need a rocket. So I bought it. And a year later, on March 9th, 2009, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I should have died. And now my body hurts every single day because I did something impulsively, recklessly, buying and operating something that I didn't have the skill set to do that. And you don't have the skill set to use this information yet with real money. With real risk, you don't have that experience. And I didn't want to pull up the next somebody at a light and say, dude, the 600, look at you. I didn't want that feeling. So I told myself, I'll be responsible. I won't drive it fast. Deep down inside, I couldn't wait to go 200 miles an hour. Couldn't wait, right? So, and it wasn't but 3 weeks later, I'm doing 155 miles an hour on Pulaski Highway in front of Oak Grove Liquors going north to Aberdeen area, going that direction, away from the city, basically in Baltimore. 155 mile an hour in an area where there's multiple intersections. People don't even stop at the stop sign. And I was chasing after a pony boy in a Mustang that was encouraging me. And that was Satan. I knew that was. He was trying to get me to chase, and I did. I was right on his bumper. And then all of a sudden, reality hit me. I started feeling like my stop loss is about to get ran. And my body started shaking. And I realized that if this guy was suicidal or nuts and he slams his brakes and brake checks me, I'm dead. And then if that wasn't enough, they're doing construction down the road in front of me, and all the cones that are luring us over to the left-hand lane, all this is happening instantly. I'm getting all this rush of information inside of a window of visibility of 5 inches. If you've ever been over 100 and some mile an hour on a motorcycle, you get this tunnel vision. And it's exciting, it's exhilarating. But you can only see about 5 inches in diameter. If you hold your hands out in front of you and connect your thumb tips together and your index fingers and try to make that in like a perfect circle at your arm's length, that's all you see when you're going real fast on a motorcycle. Everything else is like warp speed blur. And it's weird. Like you can watch these guys on YouTube and they're going real fast and you see everything. It's like, wow, this is great. That's what I did. But it's altogether something different. The first time you experience that warp speed tunnel vision, it is scary. Like it's very, very scary. And the only thing I could see in that little tiny little diameter was this young boy looking in the rearview mirror, giving me the hang loose, shaking his thumb and pinky at me like, yeah, go, go, go. And I started panicking. I literally had a panic attack on the motorcycle. I was literally gripping this thing. I pulled a groin muscle nearly, just trying to keep myself holding on to this motorcycle. But I didn't want to look weak in front of him. I didn't want to look like I didn't know what I was doing. But I was scared to death. And I started realizing I'm so fast, you just can't stop a motorcycle. Like you have to learn how to navigate around things because stopping is not always the best solution because you just can't stop. You don't have enough weight to bring you to a stop. So all these things came up in my mind. And you're probably thinking, what's this got to do with trading? It has everything to do with what you're doing wrong. I should have never been in that situation 3 weeks after buying the ZX14 Ninja, Kawasaki Ninja in 2008. 3 weeks after buying my first motorcycle, I'm at 155 miles an hour, ready to become a statistic. Stupidly chasing after something that was all wrong. What was I doing there? I was looking at an influencer on the road, just like you're watching influencers like me and other people on the internet. Wow, that Mustang boy thinks he's fast. Watch this. I'm going to go smoke him. I'm doing everything for the wrong reasons. And I'm opening myself for risk. He's not at risk. He's inside of his car safe. He's got better brakes. He has the ability to stop better than I do. And I'm literally one front wheel width away from his bumper, staring at him in his rearview mirror through his back window. With no skill. I have zero skill. None at the time. None. Thank God he struck me with fear because I was literally like, okay, I'm coming off the acceleration. And I literally wanted to throw up. Like I was scared. Like I was genuinely scared to death because I was being piped into one lane and the lanes were already stacking up ahead of him. And I don't have much time to bring myself down in speed. Downshift, downshift, downshift. And I get up to the light and And of course, you know me, I'm a man. He pulls up next to me. He's looking at me. Yeah. He rolls his window down, and I got my visor down. He can't see me. I'm panting, and I'm shaking. So what I do the old cool biker lean. I put my hands on my leg and put my hands on the tank, and I'm pressing my arms down on the tank because I don't want anybody seeing I'm shaking. I'm scared to death. I'm hopped up on goofballs, adrenaline, and fear. And I'm thanking the good Lord that I did not become a pink mist. I would have came apart at that speed. It would have been a closed coffin. And my uncle, who was like my big brother, September 4th, 1979, at noon that day, he took me for a ride on his motorcycle. I could still smell his sweat on the back of his t-shirt, holding on to him. And it was the coolest moment ever. And 12 hours later, he died on that same road, not just a quarter mile from where I was at that moment. And it all hit me at that time. And I was like, okay, I can't even take it anymore. I'm gonna turn right and I'll go down Middle Road. I'll go that direction. I just got to get off this highway. And I literally took my ass home. And I sat there and I thought to myself, man, I could have died doing something stupid. I could have done something really, really dumb. And here's the thing. I survived that. I knew better not to do it again, but a year later, my first ride of the spring, March 9th, 2009. It's a good day out here. I'm going to go take my bike out. Let it run for 20 minutes. It's been sitting. Get out there. Boom. Open it up. Bam. And an old guy comes in and puts me into a curb. And I fly 50 mile an hour over the handlebars, 85 feet in the air, land on my head, break my clavicle, 2 places, break 3 ribs, detach my scapula, crush all of my molars in my mouth. All of my molars, all my chewing teeth are crushed. I should have been dead. And I have spinal injuries as a result of that. I didn't learn my lesson. I was given grace. I didn't learn my lesson. I figured I've been driving for a year now. I've been riding for a year now. I haven't really been ridden for a year. But I allowed my impulses because I saw other people riding around that day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my bike out. And I was influenced by other people that are doing things recklessly too. And that's exactly what you're doing when you watch my content or anybody else's content. You're thinking, I want to do what they're doing. I want to have that same fun. Wow, that must be really cool. They're trading with 28 accounts. They got a $10,000 payout. They got this, they got that. I should see this did a $100,000 trade over here. What if I did that with 20 accounts? I could be this and I could be that. Don't let me influence you like that. Do not let me influence you like that. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to remind you what's possible, but you're going to work your ass off to get to that level. And there's no reason to take stupid high-level risks. I would have left my family behind the year before, but thankfully God said no. And because I didn't listen, he didn't give me anxiety on that second ride. He let me have all of it up to the point of almost death. And he has, still to this day, every spring, I see other motorcyclists out there, and I always have the itch. Like, I'm thinking to myself, I can get one. I'll get me one of the cruisers. And as soon as I start feeling that way, boom, my back goes into major spasms, and I have it for weeks. That's the Lord telling me, you're stupid. You're being stupid right now. How many times I gotta keep you from doing this? That's a natural human tendency. Don't walk on the grass. I'm moonwalking on it. That's what we do as humans. We do everything we're not supposed to do. That's why everybody fails in this industry, because it's so hard to keep control over yourself. And then you have social media, people like me and other people out there that are telling people what they do, what they can learn from you, whatever. Do not let me influence you to do things ahead of schedule. That's why I tell you all the time, take your time. There's no rush. These markets are still going to be trading 6 months from now. Just relax. If you don't give yourself the ability to see it properly, you might become that pink mist and you're gone. What can you do about it then? Nothing. You've wrecked yourself. You've lost more money. You'll never probably want to trade ever again because you did it wrong. But you'll think that this stuff doesn't work. And that's exactly what these people do on the internet. They tried to do something quick with it, or they thought it was going to be a 1, 2, 3, watch a video in 5 minutes. Oh, it works because I can prove it in 5 minutes. No, it doesn't work like that. So my encouragement to you, young man, is stop trying to use it right away. You don't know what you're doing. Just like I didn't know how to use all that speed and power in 2008 and in 2009, and ultimately it could have ended me. So while I still love bikes, I love them, I can't buy one and I can't ride one because I'm afraid that I won't have the outcome that still keeps me here. And I live with pain chronically every single day because I did not listen to good common sense the year before. I should have got rid of the bike because I wasn't able to compose myself and be responsible as a rider. I was literally, a squid. I was out there with not the proper equipment, speeding around with no skill, doing dumb stuff. And I watch kids every single week in our area end up on the news because they do that same stuff. They're influenced by their friends and people online or whatever, and they buy bikes they can't handle it. And what you're learning from me is faster and powerful than a ZX13 was, faster than a Hayabusa, faster than all that stuff. This stuff is rocket science. And you're out there trying to treat it like it's checkers. Oh, I'm going to go out here and it's all I got to do is this, this, this. And I'm like, no, you have no idea. And that's why I teach the way I do. My concepts are amazing. They're perfect. They're the market. But if you don't have the right mindset or control over yourself, you'll hurt yourself. And I'm ICT, and I just told you something about my personal life that as a human being, I abandoned the rules that I live by. I saw something, I was influenced by other people. I want that bike. And I went to the shop and said, what's the fastest bike right now? That's what I asked for. I didn't say, can you give me something as a new rider? That was not what I asked for. I want the fastest, what everybody wants right now, that's the bike I want. And I walked out there with cash, boom. And I drove it home, brand new tire. Listen, for people that ride bikes, you know how stupid this was. I didn't leave it there and pick it up the next day because it was thunderstorming. And I drove it home in the rain. And I had people laying on their horns behind me because I knew the wrong little movement, I'm probably going to go down with this thing because brand new tires are too smooth and you're going to hydroplane real easy. And I drove home in a thunderstorm with probably a mile of cars behind me. Some of them went around me and beat the horn, almost cut me off to show me how they're mad at me. But I was doing everything wrong about being a biker. Everything wrong. I checked every box. Now I live with pain. You can hurt yourself financially beyond your comprehension if you do things wrong. You could owe more money than you have trading in environments like a CPI or PPI number. Say you're ahead of it and you don't know that it's coming out in the marketplace and you're short and then they reprice it, hundreds of handles against you. You're not getting filled even if you had a stop loss. Now you owe the broker more money than you have in the account, than you have in your bank account, than you're going to earn in the next couple months if you had no bills. You see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to prevent all those types of things. So while I may be a character that people like to take shots at, and I love it, but I'm also trying to be a voice of reason because you literally need to learn this the proper way. And it needs to be at a slow pace. Because if you think that you're going to watch a video and figure, I know what I'm doing here, and then you go out there and try it with real money, and you don't know everything about what you're doing and how you think, you might add to a losing position because you think, no, it's right because ICT said so. I have students that act like a fan. I don't want fans. I'm not a celebrity. I don't like fandom. I want people that are responsible and say, you know what? I love the fact that you're responding to people like this and you're reminding us of the risks. Because there's real risks in this, folks. More than you realize. And you don't really appreciate it until you first start doing it. And then all the things that you never imagined were a factor, they are much more significant factors than the things you're thinking are big rocks in the road for you to find success. The things you're worrying about right now that you think are impeding your ability to do this, they're small, little, tiny pebbles on the road. They're not going to do anything for you. They're not going to hold you back, but you think they are. The bigger things are the ones that you're going to run into in the road where it's like a brick wall. And you're like, wow, I didn't see that coming. I didn't think it was ever going to happen to me. Right. And until you have someone telling you this is what's likely to occur if you try to do this and do that, at least you're aware of it. You're not taken by surprise. And if the people that are being responsible are listening to me, they're like, okay, I'm not doing that because I don't want to find out that I'm not prepared and I hurt myself in the process. That's why the women do better because they're not extreme risk takers like men are, like I was in 2008, like I was in 2009, and I live with chronic pain now. So anyway, I know, dude, nobody cares about your motorcycle. Nobody cares about your back pain. So if you look at the drop here on Tuesday, I was in the latter half of it, and you saw that on the execution videos on the YouTube channel. The next day, at Wednesday, we have a candlestick high here. Now watch. This, that is your SIBI. This is your sell-side imbalance, buy-side inefficiency. This big displacement, lower here, this up-close candle and this up-close candle, that makes all one singular bearish order block. It's not the last up-close candle. When I taught it initially, I taught it that way because I knew everybody's going to come out there and start teaching courses with it. There are times where I will do this, and the rules for using the up-close candle, the last one before the drop down, that definition will be in my book because it's in written format. That means everything after that will be just parroting the written works of me. The audio commentary, the rules, okay, I have slowly sprinkled the logic out because I'm competing with every plagiarist in the world right now that wants to put this into a book form. They all want to be able to say they had it in their book first. That's why I'm doing it here in my own voice on YouTube. And there's millions of you now have watched me talk about this and teach it. And I'm the only one out here demonstrating it properly. You might have a winning trade here and there, but you don't even know why your trade worked. Like you don't even know why that order block worked or that inversion fair value gap did what it was supposed to do. You assumed that you could handle that ZX14 and you jumped on it and you took a trade. You just happened to live through it like I did in 2008. And I barely lived through it in 2009. You see the difference? So because of this displacement lower, we can't use this candlestick high here to that candlestick's low. We have to refer to the truest beginning point of the order block, which is this run up. Okay, something here came into the marketplace that was unbeknownst to me. I don't care. I'm not trading in the morning session. But I saw what it was doing. So I went in and I worked with the position of getting short inside of this daily range. The latter portion of it, the afternoon session, post 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have to look at this candlestick here. So what three price points here on this candlestick are pertinent or useful? We're down into the volume imbalance. See that? And now what you'll do is you will look at this wick here, and you'll look at this wick here. Divide that in half on both of them. I'm not going to do it because I'm trying to get through this lecture already longer than I want it to be. It's always like that, man. If I say it's going to be short, it's going to be a long one. But I love over-delivering. The difference between this candlestick's low and that candlestick's low. Okay, you see that? What is that? That's your fair value gap. This is just a SIBI. This is a fair value gap. And this is why when I look at other people on YouTube and they'll say, oh, there's a fair value gap. That's not a fair value gap. That's not a fair value gap. That's not a imbalance that I'm going to utilize. See, what you're thinking is, because you've listened to me with graduated explanations, because I'm giving a little bit like a slow leak, okay? I'm leaking out. I'm teaching, but I'm not giving you everything because you all out there see people trying to pretend that they know what I'm teaching or they have it figured out, and they're trying to make courses and now they're writing books on Amazon because it's very easy for someone to throw something together and Amazon spits it out there, okay? I could have my books out there in 2 weeks, but I'm fighting with my producer, my publisher, about the way I want my covers to be because I only get one chance to do this. Once I've released the book for public, I want it my way. And they're wrestling with, costs are going to be, I don't care. I'm not doing it to make money. But see, that's not what they see. They want to make money with it. Okay. So we're kind of back and forth with it over that. So It'll be released when we finalize all that stuff, because I want the covers to look exactly how I want them. And I'm getting a little bit of resistance because of them saying the cost and what I want to receive as a royalty for each book too. It's a little bit of a back and forth. And if you keep messing around, it's going to self-publish and I'll get all the money. So if you look at the low here to that candlestick's high, that is your that's your real fair value gap. Other folks on the internet may see this and say, okay, ICT says that the best portion of shorts are going to occur in the lower half of that, and we'll leave the upper half open. And that is true when you're trading and utilizing a fair value gap that is a SIBI, but that is not what's going on here. That's why I tell you all the time, there is no one-trick pony explanation for a fair value gap. You have to understand other factors and other PD arrays. You want a fast track to selling books and courses and being mentors because it's easy, quick money. But when people realize that there's someone out there that's authored it, it's teaching it for free, you're losing subs, you're losing subscription costs and fees coming in a month. And then it's going to make you mad and you're going to hate me. And you're going to create sock puppet accounts. You're going to troll me. And you're going to leave comments in my comment section that make me smile and make me make longer videos because I like doing it. That is not what we're seeing here. This is a change in the state of delivery right there, that opening price. In a perfect world, price would do this. It would trade up to that level there, maybe just a little bit above it, and then roll over and go lower. That's the perfect world. But if we're thinking about things algorithmically, and I'm teaching you how to use these PD arrays properly, not look for an imbalance that completely closes in, then I'm going to go long or short based on that. That is the worst approach to doing that. That's the worst. That's the lowest form of trading with imbalances. That's the lowest form. Why would you want to do that? You're a bottom feeder doing that. There's more likelihood that your trade's going to fail if you trade like that than if you use the logic I'm teaching, which is you don't want to see them fill in. You don't want to see them fill in. So if this is the change in the state of delivery, that means the price was offered going up. So this is buy-side delivery. That means the movement of prices going up. Then you have this displacement lower that overtakes that candlestick's low. Your reference point goes right back to that opening price. That's the change in the state of delivery. If you look at this price right here, this is on a, well, let's just do it. And if I talk about it, it's one thing, but we're going to look at Tuesday's price action, September 3rd, and the price is being annotated here on that opening candle, that price of that opening on this individual candlestick of Thursday, August 29th. So when we drop down to a lower time frame, this blue line is referencing this candlestick's opening price. Okay, let's watch. We'll drop down to an hourly chart. You already see it, don't you? You see it? What's going on there? It's leaving all this open. Light bulbs are coming on, all right? Let me go back to the daily chart. I want you to fully understand what I'm showing you. This candlestick, that opening price, we're drawing that out in the future. When price reaches this level, let me tell you this. I know when I change time frames, I get a lot of comments that they're saying, can you go slower when you talk about price and you change the time frames? I get lost. I get it. But that's the benefit of having a video. And it's also where you use the pause button and you compare what my chart's showing. I always make a point of putting my cursor on the individual candlestick. So that way, if you're really trying to learn this, you're going to be doing this same thing in your own charts. Because if you're not doing it in your own charts and trying to replicate what I'm showing you here in your own charts with your own annotations, I mean this sincerely, okay? I'm not trying to be mean-spirited because I really want you to learn. I'm talking to Caleb right now. But other people they're commenting saying that I'm going too fast or I'm trying to confuse them or I'm trying to hide something. I'm literally trying to do everything I can to give you the perspective of how to find it in your own chart, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. My son is not going to just keep getting my charts annotating after the fact. This is the PDA race. He's going to be expected in 2 weeks, at the end of 2 weeks, he's going to start doing it. He has to do it in his charts. That's what you're going to be doing when you trade. When you eventually get to the point when you trade with your own money or take risk with a funded account company, whatever it is, those elements of what you've been doing and practicing are all going to culminate to that moment. And if you've been only looking at what I've created, how can you be confident? You won't be. You won't be confident. You won't know what you're doing. Okay. So this box here is highlighting. We'll do a different color so it stands out a little bit differently. We'll make it an ugly yellow. ICT, that's my favorite color. Look, man, I don't like yellow. Okay. So if we drop back down to a 60-minute chart, it's an hourly chart. Where are we at here? Why is that not going on to my, I think I have it set to only show on one time frame, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. All intervals. Now go back down to a 60-minute chart. There we go. Good grief. All right, so you can see what I was referring to here, where price was wicking into that. This is one time where my watermark is not working with me. So here's that opening price on that daily candlestick. That little movement to the downside, and then it rallied up. Then we had that rollover on Tuesday. Right at this moment here, look what price is doing. It's opening and trading right back up to it. It's leaving all of this open, and it's leaving all of this open. Now, think about this, young mentors, okay? You're running mentorships. You're trying to charge people money, teaching things you don't know how to use. You're going to look at this chart and say, all right, folks, I'm running a signal room. We're watching shorts. We're going to wait for price to get up into this area here. And right now you're probably getting pissed off because I'm talking about you. I don't know you by name. I know many of them in my mind I can think of right now. I'm not going to out you here. I'm telling you how to fix what you're doing wrong, because you're actually hurting people and you're defrauding people and you're teaching stuff that you don't know how to do. So because you're all here collecting and writing notes like scribes, I want you to learn how to do it right, because when I'm gone, people are going to be wanting to learn how to do this. And you're the first round of people learning directly as I'm teaching it. So you have an advantage. So doesn't it make sense to do it right and stop trying to be in a hurry to get some quick money? You can get a whole lifetime of money. I could be making $15 to $20 million every single month doing exactly what I'm doing right now. And I'm not even skipping a beat. I don't need that money. You do. So if you want a whole lifetime of educating with proper, respectable clientele that are going to say, you know what, we trust you because you're able to do it. That's what you want. You don't want people that think, wow, I have something I can teach in hindsight and I never have to do it in front of anybody or prove it. I'm telling all of you, if they're teaching smart money concepts or if they're teaching ICT stuff, unless they go out in front of the world and outline exactly how it should behave, everything, you don't even need to take a trade. Don't even do that. Tell us what the price is going to do. If they fall on their face, you just saved your money. Okay? I promise you that's the easiest litmus test. You don't even need to see track records. You don't need to see trading logs. You don't need to see broker statements. Have them come out on a live stream, right on YouTube. Everybody can see it. I have students that are doing it. Not all of them are teaching, obviously, but they can prove that they're doing it. The easiest way to determine whether you're going to waste your money is, can this person explain to me what price is going to do beforehand? And because I have always marketed that you're going to learn how to read price action, I cannot promise you that you're going to be profitable. Why? Because you're going to be like I was in 2008. I'm going to buy the fastest motorcycle and get out there and do stuff I'm not supposed to do. That's the reason why I teach the way I teach, folks. So all you foreigners that come at me all the time, oh, bro, you're a scammer. Fuck you. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're broke. I'm not. So this inefficiency right here, and this inefficiency, it should never be traded to. Why would you expect these two fair value gaps to ever be considered at all if it's inside of that bearish fair value gap and it's above the change in the state of delivery that means it's going to do what? It's just going to go into a little bit. And then you want to see these things stay open because that indicates that we're really heavy. We're real heavy. We don't need to see it go back up in the air. But many of you that are trying to teach courses and mentorships or signal services, I've seen them. People send it to me. Here, look at this guy at Discord. He's trying to sell short here. He's trying to buy here. He's trying to do that. And I just respond with this: the blind leading the blind. You don't know what you're doing. Every little separation between three candles like this is not a fair value gap. It's not. This is further evidence to indicate that you have to have more intel about the other PD arrays, because no matter which one you start with, it could be the breaker block. It could be a propulsion block. It could be volume balance or fair value gap. You have to understand the other ones, even if it's a small little brief acknowledgement. Okay, I recognize it, but that's not what I'm going to trade on. You have to refer to it because it's part of the whole narrative of what price is doing. If I wanted to do it and it was possible, I could just say, here's the order block theory, and you never need to worry about any other candlestick but just this one. You can't. It's impossible to do that because you have to have other information from other facets of what price was doing. That's why you're angry at me because you think I'm hiding something from you when I've told you that you have to do these things to get the answers you're asking for. I know my limitation as a human being, as a teacher. I'm not going to reach to the levels of what you expect in answers for certain things because those questions are answered with your own experience. And that doesn't satisfy the people that are just 1 minute trainer, 5 minute trainer, teach it to me in 20 minutes or less. I don't want students like that. I want people that are going to be highly responsible and they are aware of what's being taught and shown to them because they can appreciate what's being shown to them because it's the truth. I can make this fraud. I can make this fluffed up and all about Lamborghinis and stuff, but I can't come out here and show you what I'm doing beforehand if that's all that it is. And that's what most of what you see on the internet right now is show everybody else my fancy, expensive stuff. And once that happens, the novelty wears off. Then what are you left with? The people want to see you explain it. Why should it work in their own hands? Because if you can't show the logic behind why it should do something, why should anybody send you money? Why should anybody send you money for you not being able to prove that you have an understanding of what price is going to do? And you don't even need to push a button for that, folks. That's an easy litmus test. Everybody out there in education has a blank check right now waiting for them. If that's all ICD said I got to do, well, here, I can do it. Boom, there it is. Watch how many people do it, though. And watch how you get banned. Watch how you get blocked on email, how you get blocked on social media when you ask them to do this stuff. I'm ready for it. I can do this every single day. Every single day. I'm not running out of any yeast around here, okay? This baker's got all kinds of flour and yeast. I can do it all day long. But these inefficiencies they're not going to fill. They're not even going to trade back to you. Don't want them to. Now, because we have that, we can drop down to a 15-minute time frame. Man, it's a watermark. Take it off, ICT. I want you to get rid of it anyway. I'm trying to pirate your stuff. I know. Clowns. All right, so here's that opening price on the daily candlestick. And it's the change in the state of delivery. And you can see it wicking up into what we saw on that hourly chart. Now we're on a 15-minute time frame. It's trading into it here. And that defines that hourly inefficiency, the downside. It's just a SIBI. That's not a fair value gap that you trade. Okay, it's just showing an inefficiency, but just because there's an inefficiency doesn't mean it needs to trade up into it. You want to see where you are in the lay of the land. Where is price at? Where is it likely to go? And how's it been delivered? These two inefficiencies in price, we don't want them to trade to them. We don't want to see price go up there. But watch what happens when it starts to break lower. After returning back to that blue line, which is the opening price on the lower up close candle on the daily chart, that frames the full bearish order block. Why this is what you end up doing with this information. Okay, this is all part of the price delivery continuum theory. Knowing what you're looking for from one higher time frame, and then using the information from that higher time frame, what should you expect to see in price? So it gives me the confidence. It gives me, I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm going to trade off of. I know how I'm going to place my stop based on this information. Big, huge paradigm shift. Ready?